Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. Yes, we've had it. Andre Onana, here we go. It's just been announced by Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United have done a deal for Andre Onana from Inter. Do get involved in the comments and the chat. And if you're not doing, hit that subscribe button and hit us a like as well. Hit that like button and subscribe button. I'll get into it all. I'll explain what has just gone on. Let's have a look here. Romano, literally, I think it was about 5 minutes ago. Here we go. So let me just see, because I think he's actually done it as a reply, which was a little bit confusing for me. But when I first saw it, I was like, hang on a minute. I couldn't see it when people were saying he's done a here we go. And it was on his replies, I think. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, there we go. So we've got Andre Onana to Manchester United. It's finally here we go. Loads of emojis. Clubs are closing in on the agreement. Then Onana will travel for medical tests and contract signing. Man United set to request visa for Onana for USA trip. Ten Hag will have the new keeper he wanted. So there you go. Here we go, he says. It's quite interesting there, though. He says clubs are closing in on the agreement, then Onana will travel for medical tests and contract signing, because that's a little bit different than just saying, oh, you know what, it's almost there, or it's there, sorry, it's fully done. But to be fair, he's quote tweeted his other tweet as well. So he said it's finally here we go. And he's quote tweeted his other tweet, which said, Manchester United are now really close to signing Andre Onana. Positive round of talks. Final bid to arrive soon, then done deal. Told deal will be sealed by the end of the next week. Personal terms agreed. Man United want Onana to travel for USA preseason tour. He's then quoted that with a tick, the red, and the Cameroon, and also a hashtag MUFC. So he's pretty much saying it's done. He's saying it's done in it. He's saying it's here we go. He doesn't say it's finally here we go unless he thinks it's a done deal. So not quite as emphatic as some of his other here we goes, because he says clubs are closing in on the agreement. Then Onana will travel for medical tests and contract signing. But he's give us a here we go, and I can't recall, you may know otherwise, a time when he said that and it hasn't been true. I think there was one with Cucurella, when he went early, and people were digging him out, going, actually, because it was Cucurella's Chelsea, here we go. And then there was talk that it wasn't actually a done deal. He wasn't going to go to Chelsea, and he did. So looks like this is a done deal. Once you get, for me, I tweeted this about 20 minutes ago, funnily enough. I said, people go in early saying it's a done deal. I'll wait until I get that here we go off Romano. He's been all over this transfer since day. We saw him with the water. There was a watermark picture that he had the other day, wasn't there? Which is quite rare for him. He doesn't usually have watermark pictures on his Twitter, but he had a watermark picture of Onana in Javier Zanetti's restaurant, where he said, he's gone to Javier Zanetti's restaurant just to sort of saying goodbye almost. So looks like that's it. Here we go. Onana to Manchester United. The worst kept secret in football. We all knew that, didn't we? And we were waiting to see what was going to happen with David De Gea. Obviously, David De Gea's left. We had the farewell announcement from him. We know we've got Tom Heaton. We've got Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson, who it looks like now will probably go at Forest, I think, immediately. I think once this deal is done, that Dean Henderson will be off to Forest, because the manager doesn't fancy him or doesn't want him. The player doesn't want to be at Manchester United, I don't think, anyway. He said it last season, he didn't want to stick around. He didn't even want to meet Ten Hag, I don't think. So I think that's going to be the first sale that Manchester United make will be Dean Henderson going now. Not the first sale, but the first sale next week, tomorrow, shall I say, will be that one. He moves on to Forest, probably for about 20 million, something like that. I think the price that's been touted. Let's just get into the nuts and bolts of this Onana deal then, because there was a bit of back and forward over what was going to happen. It was talks of United sort of offering 40 million at first, then it went up to 50 million, and then it was sort of 55, or I think 50 million plus add-ons. So what we had from Romano 9 hours ago was more on Andre Onana deal. Agreement is 99.9% completed, just waiting on the final check on payment terms. Then he'll travel to Manchester. Erik Ten Hag directly called Onana in the last 48 hours to confirm that there are no issues, just a matter of time. Patience. Easy for you to say, Fabrizio. You try being patient when you Manchester United and we haven't even got a keeper that we know is going to be our long-term option. Yes, we've got Tom Heaton. Yes, we've got Dean Henderson. Neither of those two are likely to be long-term options for Manchester United. Now it looks as though Ten Hag has got his man, Andre Onana, who worked with him at Ajax, of course, who went to Inter and had a very good season there last season, helping them get to the Champions League final. Didn't do himself any any harm in the final as well. Played really well. Was a bit unlucky to be on the losing side, to be honest with you, the way he played against Manchester City. So a keeper that certainly fits the mold of what Erik ten Hag is looking for. Fabrizio Romano tweeted his tweet from 9 hours ago, saying Manchester United and Inter working also tonight on payment terms, as said earlier today. Then Andre Onana deal will be completed. That was 32 minutes ago. Then we had the 7 minutes ago where he quote tweeted himself with a tick, the red for Manchester United, the Cameroon flag, and the hashtag MUFC. And then he had, just before that, 16 minutes ago, we had the Andre Onana to Manchester United. It's finally here we go. Clubs are closing in on the agreement. Then Onana will travel for medical tests and contract signing. Man United set to request visa for Onana for Onana for USA trip, which means we'll get to see him at Stretford Paddock. We're all going over there. We'll fly out next week to the US. So if you're over there, come and give us a shout. Come and get involved. Ten Hag will have the new goalkeeper he wanted. Even if you're not in America, by the way, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be subscribing to the channel, because we're going to have loads of content coming out during that week. Interviews, reactions, previews, podcasts, the lot. I like this. A few comments here. I'll get in some of the comments. Forgive me if I didn't get straight into them, but I was just trying to get me ducks in a row, as they say. Milo Kendall says he's just tweeted again. I will try and keep up with the amount of tweets that are going through. George Hall says, you on call, Jay? Never get a day off. Kane next. I am kind of on call, to be honest with you, bro. If I'm at home and something pops off, I can always go live, and I always will. Jamie White says, I was watching Sloppy Joe's when the Paddock notification came through. Worth it. Sorry, Joe. Fergal McClements, always good to see Fergal in the chat. Big supporter of the channel. We appreciate your support. Big news day on weekend is annoying for you. Cheers for jumping on. Not at all, man. We've been waiting, man. I was just chatting to my better half. Then I was saying, I feel like we're going to get a here we go tonight. You know, there's been some rumblings. A couple of people have gone early, but we've not had the here we go from Romano. And I think it could be imminent. And then literally, and I'm not ITK. Anyone that watches this knows I'm not ITK. 10 minutes later, we got it. Devdut Rajan says, how we manage during African Cup of Nations. It's interesting, that one, isn't it? Because we've never really had a major issue, have we, with the African Cup of Nations? Because United haven't had that many African players. We've had some, obviously. You know, we've had players. I'm struggling. I'm going to miss loads out if I ever start naming African players. So I'm scared to even start. But I know we have had African players, obviously. We haven't had a lot, though. None that spring to mind automatically where we've lost them to the African Cup of Nations. I know there's a few more than just like Eric Djemba, but get involved in the chat and remind me of a few, and remind me what happened in the African Cup of Nations, because that can take a player out in the middle of the season for a few weeks, I think, if they go all the way, which would be difficult. Someone's saying to switch into House and Reacts. That's terrible. Thanks for that one. Ross Murphy says, bye. Thank you, Eric. Bye. I knew there was one I was missing, an obvious one. Manucho says, C. Turney. Toby McConville says, Ahmad. James Lee says, don't worry. Sorry, I missed that one, James Lee. Don't worry about that. He hates playing for Cameroon, lol. There was talk that at one point he didn't want to go to Cameroon, or he didn't want to stay with Cameroon in the World Cup because they wanted to use him as just an orthodox keeper rather than the sweeper keeper he is. So he actually spat his dummy out and then was dropped, so he left. Ahmad Ghali says, good work, lads. Big fan. How do I meet you in the US on Saturday? Yeah, give us a shout. If you go onto our Twitter or if you go onto my Instagram, Jay Motti, you can go and check us out there. You can drop me a message. You can send me a message request. Let me know. We're going to be doing some events over there. I think we're at the Tailgate in New York. Then we're going to be, me and Joe are at an event in Houston. All the lads going to be at an event in Vegas. We're going to do some stuff in San Diego as well. So we're going to be doing loads of stuff. Someone asking, Daniel Dumont, are you coming to Edinburgh? I don't think we are at the minute. I think there's too many... there's too much going on. We've got flights and everything else, and I don't think we can make that work where we can go to Edinburgh and go to the US. So apologies for that. Make sure if you're not done already, you are hitting that subscribe button as well. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers, and with your support, we can do it. Just to go over now, just to see the sort of the latest news, because this is all sort of changing very quickly. So here we go. This is what Romano has said about the deal. He says, Andre Onana will make the top 5 most expensive goalkeepers in the history of the game. 1, Kepa to Chelsea, 80 million. 2, Alisson to Liverpool, 62.5 million. 3, Gigi Buffon to Juventus, 52.5 million. And now there's Andre Onana to Man United. Here we go, completed. So Onana's going to come in as one of the most expensive goalkeepers. I think he's going to be 4th most expensive goalkeeper, which means he's about 50 million euros. Because if you look at Buffon to Juventus for 52.5 million euros, then Onana's obviously got to be more than that. Sorry, less than that. If he's below that, I think he's going to be the next in the pecking order. But I think there's another 5 million in add-ons, and maybe even a little bit more in add-ons. United like to do this thing now, don't they? Where we don't pay it all up front, and we try and sort of make the deal a little bit better from United point of view by having some of it in add-ons. We saw it with Mason Mount. We've seen it with Andre Onana. Let me know what you think about this signing as well, because this is 2 signings by the middle of July, which for Manchester United isn't bad going. Usually we're slower out of the blocks than that. I'm not saying it's amazing, the fact we've got 2 signings in, especially when you consider we needed a goalkeeper because we haven't really got one. But to have 2 signings, 2 first-team players as well, by the middle of July is quite impressive, because usually what happens with Manchester United, we wait, don't we? We might do one signing, he's a fringe player, another one who you might make the first team, then we wait, and then we do another one almost before the season, just before the season starts, or then we do one when the season actually starts, and maybe another one when the season starts. It's always a little bit sort of slow sometimes with Manchester United. You look at some of the players we've brought in. Casemiro was after the season started. Edinson Cavani, I think you've got to go back even further, was after the season started. Sometimes we are a bit slow out of the blocks, but we've got 2 very good players in here early doors. We've got Mason Mount done almost pretty much immediately. I think there was a bit of wrangling, wasn't there, for about a week or so, not very long at all. Bringing in a Champions League winner, a player that Erik ten Hag wanted from day one. Good signing, in my opinion. Then I've warmed to it, by the way, in case anyone wants to dig out old videos of me going, not sure about Mason Mount. The Chelsea meltdown convinced me. Then you go to Andre Onana, sort of earmarked straight away, a player that the manager knows, player that obviously played for him at Ajax, plays the way that Erik ten Hag wants to, from out of the back, on the floor, the goalkeeper being one of those sweeper keepers that everyone loves nowadays in modern football. He fits the mould. Inter were willing to sell him. The deal didn't sound crazy. I know some people may question it and go 50 million quid or 50 million euros for a goalkeeper is a lot of money. And I think he's 4th on the all-time list. But in this day and age, if you want a goalkeeper to come into your team and start in the Premier League, especially for a team like Manchester United, who hopefully going to be challenging at the very top, you're going to have to pay something like that. You are. We saw a player go into Burnley the other day who's never kicked a ball in the Premier League for 20 million quid or 90 million quid. So the price of goalkeepers is going up. I know some people were looking at that and going, sounds a bit dodgy because he was going from City, and there's always something untoward, or it seems like there's always something untoward going on with Manchester City. But with Onana, I think for a Champions League winner, I wish he'd have won the Champions League. Champions League finalist. He's still only 27 years old. He knows the manager knows him. He plays the way we want to play. His stock is very high. I think to get him for 50 million euros is about right, I think. Get involved in the comments and the chat. Let us know what you think. Do you think that we've got a good deal? Do you think Andre Onana is the right man for Manchester United? Did you want him? If not, who did you want? Did you want David De Gea to stay? Do you think this is an upgrade on David De Gea? Because that's a big question, isn't it? Have we taken a step forward with De Gea leaving and Andre Onana coming in? I think we have. I think this is more like what Manchester United should be doing. You may disagree. You may think, no, Jay, David De Gea much better shot stopper or whatever. But let me know. Does Onana better than Suzuki? We're linked with this kid Suzuki. Don't know what's happening up front. I don't know if that's done now because we've got Onana in. Sorry, need sales now so we can... sorry, I was just looking at Brian Casey. Need sales now so we can get a striker, Amrabat and Zion Suzuki. I don't know a lot about this kid, Zion Suzuki, other than the Manchester United have been linked with him. He's 20 years old. Obviously, he's a goalkeeper. Looks like he could be another option, a backup option, or an even longer-term option. I don't think you need much longer-term options when you've got a 27-year-old keeper, which is very young for a goalkeeper. But maybe Erik ten Hag's looking at it and going with the African Cup of Nations, with other stuff. Plus, you just need a backup goalkeeper. Erik ten Hag does like to have 2 goalkeepers he can rely on, doesn't he? Even 3. If you look at it last season, he brought in Martin Dubravka. He then brought in Jack Butland when Dubravka went out. He didn't want just 2 goalkeepers. He wanted the 3 goalkeepers sort of vying for it. I know, basically, David De Gea played in pretty much all the games, but he does like to have 3 goalkeepers he can turn to. Erik ten Hag, very methodical. I like that about him. Someone here saying United Lizard says cup matches. Let's get Kane, says Phobos Taco Man. Loads of people have been mentioning Harry Kane. Liam Cohen says feel sorry for Maguire a bit. Did everyone see the comments from Harry Maguire, the tweet that he put out earlier today? I know this is all about Andre Onana, but if you'll forgive me, I will mention the Harry Maguire thing just quickly, because Maguire put this tweet out, and I don't know, man. It's one of those. I kind of feel a little bit sorry for myself, not in the sense of like I think he's good enough to be Manchester United captain, but it can't be nice having the captaincy took off you when you still sort of, you're not past it. He's only 30, I think. And basically, he knows he's lost his place. Now he's lost the armband. And he just sort of said, I won't go through it all, but he basically said, after discussions with the manager today, he's informed me he's changing captain even. He outlined his reasons to me. And whilst I'm personally extremely disappointed, I will continue to give my all every time I wear the shirt. He said, says he's grateful for the brilliant support of Manchester United fans. Says he'll always be grateful to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well for first giving me the responsibility. And there's some pictures of him leading the team out at Old Trafford. There's a picture of him with the Carabao Cup, that little cameo that he had in the Carabao Cup as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's a funny one with Maguire in it. I think we can all agree he's not up to the job. But he did a good job for 2 seasons, didn't he? And then it all just went wrong. I can understand why the manager took the armband off him. Who's going to be the new captain? My money's on Bruno. Some people say Marcus Rashford. Other people saying Luke Shaw. I still think Bruno, who has been our captain for pretty much the entire season, and he's still, for me, a first teamer. I don't see Mason Mount taking Bruno's place. I think Bruno Fernandes will be the future Manchester United captain. Get involved in the comments and let us know what you think. Aaron Moore says, you're right, Jay, but he's far from good enough to even wear the shirt. Full stop. Yip Yap says, nah, had his chance, wasn't up to it. Talk MU, and good to see talking there, says Maguire did well getting us to 3rd and 2nd, but now times and styles have changed. Thanks, Harry, and good luck. Vusilo Makatu says, if we get Kane, we can compete for EPL Cup. I think he means the Premier League then. I think if we get Kane, we would be competing for that for the Premier League. I don't think we're getting Harry Kane though. I think him to Bayern is looking like a bit of a done deal there. Not a done deal, but it's on the cards, in it. Bayern Munich want him. He's been making noises that they can get him. Bayern Munich rarely go full out for a player and don't get him. And I think Spurs would sell him to Bayern Munich rather than selling him to Manchester United. Zam H, says, Jay, you legend, you are my hero. Right back at you, brother. You're mine as well. 20 legend. I'm missing it. If you get involved in the chat and the comments as well, let us know what you think. Make sure as well you're hitting that subscribe button. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers by the end of the season, and with your support, we can get there. Lizzie C says, good luck. Best of luck, Harry, sorry, but onwards and upwards. Evening Jay says, Will Baker, who's your preferred striker or preferred pick for a striker? I would have liked to have seen Harry Kane come in. I would have liked to have seen a Victor Osimhen. I don't think either of those two are going to happen. Now it looks like we're looking at Rasmus Højlund. If it's a good deal, if it's around the 50 million quid mark, I can go for it. Anything like, in fact, 50 is probably a bit much. 45 is probably about right. 80 odd, forget it. He's too unproven to be spending 80 odd million quid. And unfortunately, especially with the ownership situation, we haven't got that kind of money to spend on a striker who scored 9 league goals last season. I think he's very good. Young player, could hit the very top. But I personally wouldn't be spending 80 million quid on him. Harry Kane time says Glenn McCullough. Full time says we need a manager that is absolutely ruthless. We needed a manager that is absolutely ruthless. What a sexy, bald-headed bass he really is. He's not messing about, is he, Erik ten Hag? He's not messing about. He's dealt with a goalkeeper situation. He's dealt with a captaincy situation, just like he dealt with a Cristiano Ronaldo situation. He doesn't muck around. If he wants to make a decision, he makes that decision. If he doesn't think you're good enough, despite the fact you've been at the club for 12 years and you've won 4 Player of the Year awards, he will get rid of you. If he doesn't think you're on the same song sheet as him and you've upset him with an interview you give to Piers Morgan, he'll get rid of you, despite the fact you might be top scorer for the club. I'll get into all that again tomorrow. We're going to have the paper talk outside Old Trafford, where we will be going a bit further into this Andre Onana deal, all the nuts and bolts of it. He should be in Carrington, or he should be in Manchester, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday. You'd expect him to get his medical done. Obviously, the club are flying out to America soon, and all the reports are that Erik ten Hag wants him on that plane. He wants him in the US, will be in the US. You make sure you do it as well. You join as well, sorry. Chadium says, Jay, which comes first, 21 or Super League? Listen, 21's coming. Andre Onana was the missing piece of the puzzle. I was there, right, in the Europa League final in Stockholm, and I watched Andre Onana, and I said, if United ever sign him, we'll win the Premier League straight away. That's all I'm going to say. Honestly, that's what I said. People doing the chant. Me and McCall went through some chants. McCall was rating our Andre Onana chants. There was a few on there. Go and check that out. It's on the channel. Andre Onana chants. Give me hope. Onana was one of them. Yeah, there was a few over there. Go and check that out on Uncensored. Will Baker says, Jay, do you think we need now to sell to buy a striker? Probably. We've got a lot of players that can go. Dean Henderson, I expect to go out the door very quickly to Nottingham Forest. We've also got the likes of Andy Martial, Jadon Sancho, Donny van der Beek. Jadon Sancho is probably in the maybe column. I think he's in the column where if someone comes in with a big offer, we'll sell him. I don't think we're looking to sell him, if that makes sense. I think he's just available if a big offer comes in. I don't know if it will, though, because he's on a huge amount of money. Martial's probably going to go. McTominay and Fred, or at least one of them, I'd expect to go as well. Then you've got the likes of Harry Maguire. Is he going to be sold? Doesn't look like he's he's not first choice. He's not even second choice at centre back. Is he, or third or fourth? Probably. He's probably about fourth or fifth. Definitely not the captain. We know that. He's been told he's not the captain. So it looks like he might be on his way. We'll have to wait and see there. But Manchester United probably do need to sell some players, not just because of the ownership shambles that the Glazers have left us with, but also FFP as well. United need to sell some players. Hopefully, we can move some of the players on we don't need and get in that all-important striker. Hit the like button. Let's get, I don't know how many likes we're on. Sorry, I'm on another thing here. However many likes, got 470 likes. Let's get to, come on, we can do 600, can't we? 600 likes should be a doddle with all you lovely people watching. And make sure you are getting involved in the comments and the chat as well. Let me know what you think about the Andre Onana deal. Someone has just said, Gareth Owens, are you worried that the takeover chat has gone quiet? I am. And we're going to be speaking to a journalist about that tomorrow on the channel. I've got a journalist coming in who's just done a big article for The Athletic. Matt Slater spoke about why it's taking so long, what's going on. The Glazers don't seem to be as keen to sell, or some, it's not, sorry, not as keen to sell. The Glazers might have overplayed their hand when it comes to Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I'm going to get into explain his article and explain his thinking behind it, and also anything he may know about the takeover, because it has gone a little bit quiet. And I don't expect any announcements soon if we've just bought Andre Onana. Andre Onana's coming. That's the big news. That's going to be all the talk tomorrow. I'd be very surprised if it was like, boom, we've also done the takeover. You can hope though, can't you? That'd be amazing, isn't it? If we got a new goalkeeper and the Glazers left in the same day. Colin Wilmot says, is there any truth in the 170 million budget increase, Jay? Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I know possibly. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's hardly emphatic. I'll try and find out. There's a good answer for you. Yeah. Let me do a bit of homework, a bit of digging, and we'll find out. Ray Thompson says the journalists know nothing more than my nan. Some of them don't. And in fact, a lot of them don't, because I think there's NDAs all over the gaff in there. But some of them might get a little tickle from some of the interested parties. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the comments and the chat. Make sure, as Prabhav Kandahar says, I'm not going to call you bitches, but he says hit like bitches. Hit the like button. If you've not done already, subscribe to the channel. Want to get to 800,000 subscribers by, I don't know, the end of the tour. And with your support, we can do it. This has been a bit of breaking news. Andre Onana, here we go. He's coming to Manchester United. Hopefully won't be our final signing of the season, but so far we've got Mason Mount, now Andre Onana, Erik ten Hag setting out his stall early. This could be a big summer for Manchester United. I hope it is. If we can get a striker in, maybe as well a defender. We'll have to see. Then it could be a positive one. But we definitely needed a new goalkeeper. And Erik ten Hag has got his man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jay Moy. Thanks for watching.